Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's markets in the morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Friday, July 21st, 2023. Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, the stock market, altcoins, Bitcoin, XRP, any news that is going on, precious metals, gold, silver, whatever it is, the dollar, as we get ready for the stock market to open up here in the next minute. Actually, we just opened right now. There we go. We're open. What a day. So today I just put out a YouTube video, maybe about 15 minutes ago, talking about what's going on in markets today. Pretty exciting day today for the stock market, which we'll keep our eyes on. Over here, we'll talk about this in just a moment. Of course, a lot of people looking over there at the XRP price chart as this range just kind of continues on. It's lost the steam that it had, and the indicators, like we talked about in yesterday's video and in Markets in the Morning, how things just started to kind of roll over. Seems like that has still continued into today. I go deep into that in the video that I released today, but we'll talk about that here in Markets in the Morning today as well. XRP, as we know, it's had the big breakout. The big question is, the range, it got so high above the range. We're going to have to back test this. Is this range going to keep going? All covered in the video, but we'll try to cover some of that in today's video or today's live stream as well. Bitcoin sitting there at 29,869. Coming off of yesterday's, let's put this on the daily time frame. Yesterday, just kind of a wacky day. We actually saw that over there in the stock market too. The NASDAQ was down, I believe, 328 points yesterday, which was like 2.28%. And then the dollar took a swing back. Let's put this here. Let's go like that. The dollar, after we know last week, took a breakdown last week, took a swing back towards the broken support. So today, big day. Does this dollar turn itself over? We'll go over that in a minute. But while the NASDAQ had a wacky day yesterday, the Dow did end up closing up like 160 points. So a weird and wacky day to see the S&P and the NASDAQ down so much, but see the Dow Jones doing well yesterday. And then that almost kind of like what crypto was like. We kind of had a really big mixed day yesterday. You had things like Chainlink that were up 20%, and you had other stuff that's down 5, 6, 7%, and everything in between. So kind of a wacky day yesterday. So let's go ahead and get started with all the basic stuff we do. Over here on Twitter, you can follow me at BCBacker. This is the only social media that I do use actively. I'm not messaging anybody on Instagram. I'm not messaging anybody actively. I'm not just going out and DMing people on Twitter. I'm not commenting on posts saying, hey, shoot me a message. I am not asking you to send me money and have investment opportunities for you. There is nothing like that. Do not send your crypto to anybody, especially anybody who you think is the blockchain backer on any type of social media asking you to send them crypto. That is not me. There are impersonators everywhere. I do manual reviews here on the YouTube channel for all comments. You go look at YouTube comments on like all content creators. They are filled with scammers everywhere in there. You don't see that on this video because every year I go through over 100,000 comments, 100,000, and eliminate all scammers. That's why you don't see it here. However, I have no control over these impersonators when it comes to Twitter and when it comes to Instagram and any other social media out there. So the only one is BCBacker. That's me on Twitter. Give me a follow over there. As per your requests, the merch store has launched. That is available. Let me put the link in the chat. There you go. Per your request, there is the merch store. There's a lot of XRP stuff in there. And of course, a lot of blockchain backer stuff in there, from tumblers to cups to shirts to really awesome leggings. Look at those. Look at those stunning leggings with blockchain backer on them. But tote bags, all that kind of cool stuff, that's in there. And then, of course, you can check out bcbacker.com, a website with over 40 videos and 11 hours of amazing content. Give you something to do over the weekend. Check out my website, bcbacker.com. All right. XRP. Let's dive in here, shall we? Okay, one quick look. Bitcoin sitting still right here. It's still holding the range low. And today, being July 21st, we got here June 21st. One whole dang month sitting in here. We can go through all the ranges that we have in here. None of these ranges have lasted a month. So this is the longest we have spent in a range all year long. So talk about grueling and just riding it out for a long time. Still waiting to get something to emerge here for Bitcoin. As for XRP, we kind of went through it right here at the opening. We talked about it yesterday in the video. We talked about it yesterday in the live stream right here when we were at like 81.3 cents, showing that we were starting to deviate away, that, there we go, that our momentum had swung the opposite direction already over here on the stochastic, over here on the MACD, as we had crossed and started working our way up. We crossed, and then immediately yesterday morning started saying, wait a minute, we're cooling off, and sure enough, we still have. So what this means is that we are now in a ranging context, which is absolutely lovely because it just leaves you in a what we call dumb money zone. And so there's only two boundaries that really matter in a range, and that's going to be your retracement levels, and that's going to be your lower end boundary. Everything else in between is considered your dumb money zone. There's no real rhyme or reason to the price action. While we sit in the middle of the range is just consolidation to determine a breakout. And the breakouts don't happen until we either leave the third range boundary, which happens to be 702 Fibonacci retracement, approximately 86 cents, or the breakdown of the boundary at about 67. Otherwise, we can have all types of chaotic price action happen in between in this last 1 week of price actions. Technically, it's 8 days worth of price action. When we look at the bigger picture of everything, the big picture is still awesome. We just broke out of Wyckoff accumulation after a year and 2 months. It's great. The big thing we keep talking about every day, all week. We're doing this consolidation at such a higher level. If we were looking to see this thing just keep rampaging, it does seem that moment has passed by. The optimistic thing, like at least kind of look at the moving average maybe if you want to say, hey, look, we're still above the 50 on the 4-hour time frame. If you're still wanting to hold on to a little bit of hope that this thing will shoot up into the weekend, maybe. But as we sit in the range, nothing is going to now matter until the retracement is cleared. And I talked about this in today's video. The things to be cautious about, especially for me, my excitement level does not kick in until we clear 86 cents. So what does that mean? If we shoot all the way up here and we get to 84, 85, if we get to 85 cents, I don't get excited at 85 cents. I actually get even more worried at 85 cents because now we're at it again, and that can be a rejection level. So the only time to celebrate now that we are in a ranging context is the exit of the retracement levels. So if you start seeing prices printing 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, I know it's always nice to see prices move up, but just gotta be cautious of these just little retraces within the range boundary. Absolutely nothing matters until 86 cents at this point. Now that we've reset all the indicators, starting over again and having to work our way in the range even further. However, the things to pay attention to today for me on the big macro page, yes, so happy to see this, is that we have green over here in the stock market. So I talked about this in today's video that I put out, that today is likely an important day over here in stocks. So not just because, hey, it's always nice to have a green day and that puts us into, the weekend and we can have green going into the weekend. But yesterday when the Dow Jones closed, it actually ended up getting almost like over 300 points to the upside. I don't know if it ever hit 3, but I definitely saw it at like 270, 280 multiple times. But by the time the day closed, what did we say? We wanted to at least close 150 points in the green, right? We closed like 160. So, okay, we got above the 150, which of course did give us the close above the last retracement level. But it's not a huge move, right? It's just like barely getting above it. So if we can get a nice green close today for the stock market, which obviously we've only been open for 8 minutes now, let's try to get some more juice out of this thing. If we can get a couple hundred points out of this thing to go into the weekend, it would give us a very nice clean close above the last retracement level for the Dow, which we're above right now. But still, today we would like to see a green close happen here in the stock market. hate it or love it, live in whatever narrative land you want to live in. I have completely presented the data a bajillion times. The stock market impacts Bitcoin, Bitcoin impacts the altcoin market impacts XRP. We can live in Fed now land or whatever we want, or we can like really focus on the data. And this is the thing that is important just for liquidity flows for the cryptocurrency market is the Dow. But the story is also the same over there for like the NASDAQ. So good news is the NASDAQ is up about 87 points as the day does open. Yesterday's crazy price action that happened where it was down like 320 points, down 2.28%, actually just ended up being a whack back onto the retracement levels yesterday. So we know that the NASDAQ was one of the ones that cleared it last week, whereas we had the S&P and we had the Dow Jones both clear it this week. The NASDAQ was the one that cleared it last week. Everybody panicked about yesterday's price action. Whoom, hits the 786 retracement. If we can get a green day here in the NASDAQ, hey, that's a nice little bounce off the retracement. Gives us a second weekly close on top of the retracements. No big deal. As for the S&P, the story is the same as the Dow in that yesterday's move, back testing on top of the final retracement level. If we can get a green close there in the S&P, then we also get a green close above the final retracement level. And so why does it matter so much that it has to be green? Well, because they both were right there at the retracement levels. If the NASDAQ closes red, if the S&P closes red, if the Dow Jones closes red, like it's underneath the retracement levels. It's not above it. So we don't go into the weekend with our weekly closes above. So we want to see all three indexes close in the green. Even if it's only a couple of points, even if it's only 0.1% or 0.05% or something like that, that's better than in the red. But of course, I'd rather see like a 0.5% or something wild, like 1%. Of course, that would just be like, yes, here we go. We're going into the weekend with strength. The markets closed the week above all the retracement levels, and we have the weekly candles printed like that. So a strong day would be great. A green, even a slight green day would be okay. Just, a little disappointing if we do see red, because it just means then we have to go into next week hoping that we can get the break. So far, so good as we start the day off, coming off of yesterday's big day. But yesterday's big day for the S&P and for the NASDAQ, both were back tests of the 786 Fibonacci retracement level. And as bizarre as that can be, the Dow was green yesterday, getting through the 786 Fibonacci retracement level. So run and tell that. Two indexes go super red, but they're both backtesting 786s, and then one index is green as it's getting through 786. So give us a green day today. Get those indexes up. That provides some optimism over here for the cryptocurrency market, for Bitcoin. And then, of course, that translates over there to XRP at the same time. So that's really my main focus today is over there on the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, and the S&P. And so what's funny about seeing those retracements come in and us cracking through them, of course, is just how we have the DXY be the thing that breaks down as we get through those. And then notice as we have that 786 back test for the S&P and for the NASDAQ, it happens on a back test here for the DXY. So hopefully this is a back test. I'm not going to predict it. We just see the significance of it. You see that the DXY does a throwback. We see that the NASDAQ does a throwback. We see the S&P does a throwback. Now, if we can get a nice little reversal here on the DXY, boom, that gives us the clearing right through all the retracement levels. That's what we want to see carrying us into the weekend for the cryptocurrency market. So it's a exciting day to see if we can get it. So I know that candle is red. That's merely because we gapped up today. The Dow is actually up 46 points. So our weekly candle does look like that. So just pay attention to the number and how it closes, not the candle of the color on the daily candle. As long as we can close in the green, that'll be super exciting to see. So our biggest winners of the day as we open up the morning, we got ARK up about 0.75%. You got NVIDIA down 0.56%. A much calmer day than yesterday. Yesterday was just kind of like insane city. You had a bunch of stuff. Netflix, I think, was down 9%. Tesla was down like 8%. You had a big whack yesterday. So, all right. There we go. XRP. I did put out a video this morning talking about this, the range in context, as we know, worked our way back to the retracement levels. As you can see here, Strength continued, was able to plow through it. Not the case this time. We talked about it right when it was happening at 81.3 cents. Strength rolled itself over yesterday morning, unable to. Now we're in a ranging context. I dive into all of that in today's video, 20-minute video already released. So, all right, there we go. We got XRP, we got Bitcoin, boring Bitcoin who won't wake up. We've got the Dow Jones and the significance of that, which all three indexes are in the green this morning, which, there you go. All of them are above their 786 Fibonacci retracements. Today's the significant day on if we can get the weekly close above it for all of them. So we're cheering for a green close for all three indexes in the stock market. As for gold is pulling back slightly today. Nothing too crazy. It is down $7. Silver is down 3 cents. Not a whole lot to say there. As for yields, short duration yields are up slightly. Nothing huge. This is where they've really just been sitting at 5.26, 5.27%. Anywhere from the 1 month to the 4 month, they're all right there, 5.26 to 5.27. It's the longer duration yields that are down a little bit after yesterday's pretty decent rise. I think the 10-year yield was up about 0.1. Which was pretty big. Next week is when we will be having the Federal Reserve interest rate meeting, FOMC meeting, currently priced in at 99.8% that we're going to be seeing a 25 basis point rate hike next Wednesday. So we will be doing markets in the morning. We will be having a video every day of the week, except on Wednesday, we have one extra one. That's where we do the FOMC live stream and we actually watch Jerome Powell. We put charts up on the screen. We watch how the market reacts live to it. Most of the time, it can, you get a little bit of volatility. And the last couple of times that we've done it, we haven't had a whole lot happen. But there have been times where we see things just dump. And there's been times where we see things just rampage. And as it being Wednesday, we do, of course, play the frog. The rule for the frog during the FOMC live stream is that we have to finish the meeting with a big fat green bar. Green candle on the screen in order for us to play the frog on Wednesday FOMCs. So that's always kind of a fun thing. We usually actually have a few thousand people tuning into that if you haven't tuned into that before. So, okay, heading into the morning, let's go ahead and look over there at news and see what's going on in here. Friday will be an active day on Wall Street with major index overhaul and options expiration. Okay, so we may expect some volatility over there in the stock market today. Judge sets Trump classified document trial for May of 2024. Amazon to build a $120 million facility in Florida. Okay, let's take a look at this one. We usually don't even read any of this. 2 structural shifts for Wall Street on Friday could cause a spike in stock market volatility on the final trading day of the week. One notable event is the expiration of thousands of options contracts on stocks, indexes, and ETFs. While trading volumes have been light in July, options exposure is still strong relative to past summers, according to Goldman Sachs. We estimate that this Friday will be the largest July options expiration on record, driven by continued growth in index and ETF options volumes. We estimate that over $2.3 trillion of notional options exposure will expire this Friday, including $500 billion of notional of single stock options. Wow. With the options set to expire, trading volumes typically jump as investors execute the contracts to collect their profits or roll them over to the next month. The other major change is the special rebalance of the NASDAQ 100 index, which takes effect on the start of trading on Monday. A rally in the largest tech stock this year, such as Microsoft and Nvidia, has caused concern that the stock market is too concentrated in just a handful of names. The NASDAQ 100 rebalance will dilute the impact of the largest stocks in the index. While NASDAQ has not publicly released the changes, a note from Goldman Sachs earlier this week said that Nvidia and Microsoft would see the biggest downward change to their weightings, while Broadcom would get the biggest boost. The changes could force index funds and other investment products benchmarked to the NASDAQ 100 to adjust their holdings. The Invesco QQQ Trust, which tracks the NASDAQ 100, manages more than $200 billion in assets. So it sounds like we'll see a lot of options expiring today. We'll see how that impacts the end of the day. U.S. recession becomes closer call as economists rethink forecasts. So we talk about, the stock market, if it goes into a new all-time high, if there's just like one last hurrah in the market that lasts a couple of months, right? But TXMC does a really good job kind of laying out all that data over there on Twitter. And I remember what it's like to be him when we were at the top of Bitcoin and everything. And, you had the whole crowd screaming for $100,000. And you're just presenting all the cases in the world and why this isn't going to last forever. And everybody's just kind of poking at you quite a bit. Going through the bear, you get that at the bottom. Going through the top, you get that through the top. If you get it right, you're going to get chastised by the crowd. That's just how it's always going to be. And I always remind people that when you're doing the right thing, it's always going to feel wrong because all your peers are doing the wrong thing. But TXMC is doing a really good job presenting a lot of the data, saying, hey, look, we're lining ourselves up that even though the stock market is rising, all those indicators are aligning and coming, showing a recession on the forecast. And I tend to believe his data to be accurate. So keep an eye on that heading into the future. But my thoughts are we still have a couple of months, but when we look like 2 to 3 years from right now, I think the picture will be very different than what we're living in right now. So I don't need to read an article from Bloomberg to tell me this. I think TXMC does a good job presenting all the data. If you don't follow him over there on Twitter, and if you don't follow him on YouTube, his YouTube channel is Alpha Beta Soup. Microsoft activism, antitrust win, raises M&A revival hopes. Hollywood strike dims. Okay, UPS strike. Okay, I'm a gold and silver kind of guy, and so everybody has their YouTube videos that they like to watch, and I'm very honored to be a part of your day. Just let me reiterate that. I watch YouTube myself, and I don't always watch crypto stuff. I have other silly stuff that I like to watch too, and one of them is having to deal with precious metals, having to deal with coins and coin collecting. I'm totally like an 80-year-old guy when it comes to oh, let me see this coin. Did you see that it was minted in 1794? Wow, there was only 420 of these minted. That's me. But I like to watch those when I go to sleep. That's kind of like the thing. I like to watch coin shop owners talk about what's going on with customers coming into their stores, what they're seeing. And one of the things I saw recently was something about UPS, and that there is a concern right now in regards to a strike on UPS, and to keep your eyes on that. And I think if that happens, it would happen on August 1st. And that this would actually deal a little bit of a blow to the economy if this strike does go through on UPS. I guess they handle about 10 million packages per day. And if that were to happen, that it would cause issues. So I forgot all about that. I watched that late at night. It was for me, late at night. That's 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I just kind of forgot about it until I just saw that headline. So I'll try to look into that a little bit more and then present that if I find anything interesting about it at the beginning of next week. I think they're all trying to work out a deal, but we definitely probably wouldn't want to see UPS go on strike. The reason why, from what I understand, there's no way USPS and no way FedEx could pick up the slack. And it would just slow down business throughout the country. All right, Cointelegraph, take a look at crypto news happening over here. Bitcoin Bollinger Band's Echo move that ended in 40% January gains. Okay. Wolf of Wall Street's worries about a world where Bitcoin hits $1 million. U.S. law protects institutions and exposes retail investors. Yeah. U.S. law protects institutions and exposes retail investors. Let's see what he's saying. Oh, geez. New York Representative Richie Torres has an exclusive interview with Cointelegraph to discuss why retail investors are still at risk following the XRP court ruling. Let's see what you got to say. Judge Torres ruled out Ripple's XRP. And see, this is what they do. When you see this, when you see these news organizations call it Ripple's XRP, you already know it. It's like when you see these Bitcoin maxis go on TV, or they do these interviews and they say Ripple token, or the Ripple XRP, whatever it is, Ripple XRP, whatever, the Ripple coin. They know. They know. They're doing it on purpose. Just tell me your butt hurt without telling me your butt hurt. All right. Stuart Alderati, chief legal officer at Ripple, told Cointelegraph that last week's ruling makes it clear that the U.S. SEC's theory that a token can be an investment contract, therefore security, no longer has support by the law. I said the ruling that it's not only a huge win for Ripple, but it's a win for all of crypto in the United States. The SEC can no longer tout their record in crypto, which was, up until now, by and large, settlements with players that didn't have the resources to fight back. While this may be New York Representative Richie Torres's... While this may be... New York Representative Richie Torres told Cointelegraph that the Ripple decision reveals a cruel irony in securities law. He said, it protects institutional investors while leaving retail customers exposed, even though the latter arguably requires more protection than the former. For me, the lack of protection for retail investors underscores the fierce urgency around passing a market structure bill to protect the average American consumer. Okay, whatever. If it's going to get you guys to pass something, let's go with it. Torres elaborated on this remark, commenting on his plan to help ensure the passing of crypto market structure bill and his support for blockchain technology. Okay, so you have your own bill ready to go. You just happen to have your bill ready to rock. Okay, Torres. All right. Cool story. Hot stories. Here's what happened in crypto today. Boy, that would be nice if it was that easy. I wouldn't have to go through all this stuff. Let's just see if you can make my life easy today. FTX sues SBF and other former executives to recoup over $1 billion. Ooh. So the restructuring team in charge of the bankrupt FTX has sued former executives and Alameda Research to recover $1 billion of misappropriated funds, allegedly misappropriated funds. UK regulator to launch digital sandbox for startups. Kuwait bans crypto and virtual asset transactions. I don't even think we've ever heard Kuwait being active. Cool. All right. Well, you know, it happens. I think that was it. How about CoinDesk? You got anything? Solana and XRP lead the decline in crypto majors. While Gucci and Christie's team up on NFT collection. Move over Shiba Inu. Crypto community flirts with hamster racing bets. Oh my. Oh boy. From politics to alchemy, pay. I mean, you realize like you see the motivation that these news places have, right? We got to bash Ripple. And then we got to promote hamster racing betting. Who is their audience? Who is your audience, CoinDesk? Who is your audience, Cointelegraph? Okay. So it sounds like they're starting to kind of introduce some bills to, you know, get crypto moving. But will they end up getting it done? We'll see. We'll see. Either way. Coming off of an exciting week last week, things obviously tamed this week. Just totally arranging week for XRP. We had some hope, we had some optimism. Then in the last 2 days, whoop, the third range boundary comes in and holds us down there at the 702 Fibonacci retracement. Of course, that's also the breakout level where things got nuts back in 2017. It's a breakout level where things got nuts in 2020. It's a historical third range boundary resistance that can either be horrible or phenomenal. All hope is not lost. However, now there's not a whole lot to take from the price action currently within the range unless we can get back above that retracement level. Otherwise, there's nothing of interest in between this. In the video I put out today, we talk about it. This is called the dumb money zone. This is not the first time I've referred to the zone as the dumb money zone. There's no real indication of price action trending as we are in between here. It's really what day traders will do is they will buy at the supports, stopping below. They'll sell at the retracements, stopping above. Otherwise, the only people behaving in here are emotional retail investors who are operating based on gut feeling. Otherwise, professional traders know this is your dumb money zone. The only two zones that really matter are these two. So until we can get to one or the other, then we can either get excited or we can start talking about, hey, you know what? We're just too high. We're just too far above what we've talked about all week in Markets in the Morning, what we've talked about all week in the videos. We've just gotten too high. All hope is not lost. You know, you can see here, it's obviously just still ranging, right? We're talking about it too soon. The reason why I have to start talking about it now is because these are what happens. You guys know about these. If you watch all the time, you know about 702 retracements. You know they're the struggle bus. It's the struggle zone when we get there. Nothing has clearly cracked in this range, but I have to make sure that I'm showing you the things that I definitely focus on a lot, and that is third range boundary retraces. And that's what we have seen happen, is a third range boundary retrace and struggling at that level. Obviously, we're still just sitting right in between all this. Nothing is crazy, but when you get back to that retracement level and you find that type of pullback happening off of that, that's when I start questioning how much strength do we really have currently and how long are we going to be here. So still waiting on it, and we'll see how things go. Holding the current lows that we are at right now. Otherwise, Bitcoin, taking a peek over here at the Dow. That's what's really I'm looking for when it comes to Bitcoin. Can we get a close here this week? Can we end this week in the green for the stock market, as I talk about in the video that I just released? It is super dependent on today and today only. If we close red for the indexes, they will close all three. If we close red, all three will close below the 786 retracement. If we close green, all three will close above it. So as we get to the end of today, as this thing closes in 6 hours from right now, we may be celebrating the end of today, saying we have broken all retracement levels and closed all weekly candles above the final retraces. We did read a news article over there, over here on CNBC. Today's an active day on Wall Street with major index overhaul and options expiration. So it's expected there'll be some volume over there in the markets today. We'll see how that impacts things. But otherwise, big fingers crossed that we can go ahead and clear all the retracements and keep them as the day comes to a close. Otherwise, XRP in a range, Bitcoin, sleepy Bitcoin, not doing anything still for a whole month. Today marks 1 month in the range. Waiting for something to wake up over there. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and dive on into the chat. Pat, right out the gates, first one. Thank you very much, Pat. Jaxer for more BCB pet teas, please. They're out of stock already. Really? What? Okay, I'll take a look at that. Thank you, Jaxer. Romano Frau, hey BCB, will you discuss the potential structures when XRP goes up, seeing as the fractal retraces $4, drop, and then goes back up after a month? I'm seeing as the potential fractal reaches $4 drops. Well, that's the fractal, right? We will follow a fractal until we don't follow it anymore. Then after that, we have to kind of start going on other things and not just depending on what a fractal plays out like. As we move up, the things that will be the watching things for me is going to continue to be retraces all along the way. Even though this thing points straight line up, super duper moon candle, I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to be the same way I always am. I'm like, all right, this has been our most recent range. Now we're back into other retracement levels. These are concerns. You could see there was even some resistance right in here. This was our upper end boundary on our last retracement, right? Getting back into here. This was also the resistance here. So if we get back up in there, I'll be saying, okay, we got to be careful now because here's our next major resistance level from previous ranging. So, you know, if once we leave this range, once we tip any higher than this, I'm going to have a really hard time pointing to moon candle like this. It's because what happens is just like what we're experiencing. You get gamblers who come in here. It is quite annoying. You could try to teach everybody everything all you want. But what do? No matter how much you try to, express buying when people are totally fearful and totally scared, and selling when everybody is super optimistic, it doesn't matter. We talk about emotional management. It doesn't matter. There's a large group of people who are just running on gambling high. And so what happens is, you get this. How many people are currently watching right now who just got in here, right? They didn't have the patience to sit through all of it and to go through that and get out. And now they get in right here. And now they're like, okay, now I'm guaranteed $1 bajillion in one month, right? So if we get through here, this will start becoming expectations that we move up in 4 days, we go to $4, right? So I don't know what velocity we'll move at in there, but if we get out of here, the next area of focus and concern is going to be that next retracement level right up in here at, $1.30, $1.40, $1.50. That's going to be the next zone to watch out for. We've talked about contracting triangles. These are Elliott wave structures that consist of an ABCDE. We've been talking about this showed it to you about a month on the channel. I've recorded it a while ago for bcbacker.com. But your E pullback is your final one before you escape. This is an Elliott wave, and it consists of 5. Actually, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then this is where it gets all sloppy, right? ABC. And then in here, in your E, this is where we have, again, Elliott wave triangles appear to where they're not as clear as like ABCs, but these are more of complex triangles. So you can get what we talk about, crash, retrace, reaccumulations. We can get double zigzags and triple zigzags. You can get ascending triangles, descending triangles. That's angle and expanding, broadenings, and contractings. Those are the ones that can appear in that. And then the breakdown will happen. Come on. There we go. All right, where am I? Right there. Right. So you're predicting time, right? Right. We all want to predict time. We all see the same thing. We all see how it behaved. We all are looking at the same thing. We all say, this was 826 days in this fractal. It took us 820 days. If we move at the same velocity, this is how long it would take. We're all looking at the exact same thing. We don't know if it's going to do it. We just know up until this point, it has. Will it deviate? Maybe, right? But we all see the same thing. You know what I mean, Romano? So we'll find out. XRP, XP Market, thank you very much. Gifted 5 blockchain backer memberships. I appreciate it. Alberta's Cowboy says, I saw an article that Taylor Swift tour has stimulated the economy. Is she a puppet master or a unicorn dust? She's just like a rock star entrepreneur, man. Superstar, man. Got to respect it. If you don't respect the hustle, then you ain't hustling. Oh, man. Taylor Swift, take my money. I don't want to tell her shut up and take my money because I want her mouth going. I want her talking. I want her saying it. Say a lot of things and take my money. All right. I saw that too. Kyle Downey. How do you ensure taking profits when exchanges crash during big moves? Do sell orders still go through if exchanges crash and you can't log in? Yeah, so, all right, so here's lessons I've learned from all of that. All right, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do here. You make your own decisions. Exchanges are risky, right? We know it. If you leave money on exchanges for an extended period of time, it can be risky. All right, you all know that. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you exchanges can be risky if you leave a ton of money on there. Why do I say that? Because you saw what happened with exchanges. Now, one that has done well, and I'm not affiliated with, and I'm not even going to say their name. Anyway, because I don't promote exchanges, and I'm not here to help them earn a bunch of money by you guys going over there. And by the way, this channel has no sponsors. This channel can say whatever it wants, about whatever it wants. I don't have to perpetuate any type of baloney narratives, baloney ideas to get you guys to satisfy my sponsors. Okay, so I'm not sponsored by anybody. I just want to say that. I could say the F word if I wanted to. And sometimes I do. But I do have to satisfy YouTube. But yeah, I have no sponsors. So I don't want to promote any exchanges. But the thing that I learned after 6 years of that happening, I can't tell you how many times I've seen that happen. I've probably seen it, I don't know, 15 times that happens, where the huge volume pours in. And just so you know, when those moments happen for everybody, if you when those moments happen, we can all say, I actually kind of take them for their word on what they say. People like to say, oh, crash just the right time, right? Because price will get moving really fast or something big will be happening. And what happens is everybody piles in at the exact same time. Whether they're FOMO buying all at the same time or they're fear selling at the exact same time, it becomes a substantial amount of traffic that crashes it or something. And I actually kind of take them for their word because it always does happen in crazy times. PTW says, your daughter is listening. Oh, that means I cannot say the F word or else I'll be putting money in the swear jar. I always get, ooh, dad. But, getting it onto the exchange and setting the limit order ahead of time, right? Getting near it, it's getting towards the time, and then setting the limit order. And then at the same time, not relying on just one. If you are relying everything on just one exchange and one exchange only, you're really exposing yourself to that problem, right? So, having multiple exchanges, multiple off ramps, and then, kind of getting it on there and getting the limit orders set. The risk with that, of course, is then you're moving a ton of money and putting it into the possession of the exchange and relying on them to hold on to that for however long it takes, right? When that time gets closer, right? If you're thinking it's going to happen within 5 hours, if you're thinking it's going to happen within a week, then if it ends up taking a month and you're just leaving it on there for a month, it could end up being a long time, right? So for me, it's when we're getting close, it's kind of like eyeing it real closely and then setting the limit order in case the exchange goes down, that my limit order will get triggered during that moment. And I don't have to worry about transferring and hitting the market sell button or putting in a limit order while things are chaotic, but having that limit order already in place. So, and multiple exchanges. So thank you, Kyle. Oscar, my man, super sticker, thank you very much. Lakeside Crypto, USPS is prepared and planning on the UPS strike. That's not what I've heard. The United States Postal Service cannot handle the volume of packages. It would essentially double the amount that USPS has. Oscar Hernandez. Wait, is that a different? No, it's the same one. Did you change your picture, Oscar? You did. Hit the like button for the best crypto news live. Thank you, Oscar. Adam. Sigmund. Hey, BCB. Follower here since 1885. Similar how alts didn't run in 2021. Well, they did run in 2021. Bitcoin reached its second top. They didn't run in their second top. Are you at all concerned of the current Bitcoin altcoin as the Dow Jones is running towards the 4236? No. Because we're behaving appropriately. I think the thing is that people think that I try to like constantly pound it into Twitter and here on YouTube, the 4-year cycle stuff, the block reward halving, all those people who are relying on that. I think what it is, there's just so much low alpha information out there that people just lean on that as their content creation. Like we don't have to worry about anything because magic of 4 years and block rewards. I think those are the people that are going to get pounded. If you're not paying attention to what else is happening here in these markets right now, I think the landscape is not what people are planning for. Just like the landscape wasn't, especially just Bitcoin's top. Obviously, it got confusing with the altcoins. Bitcoin hits the 4.236, but 90% of the market just didn't know. People are looking at rainbow models, right? Rainbow models. No matter what argument I presented over here on YouTube and gave all the cases of this is the top of Bitcoin, I conducted a poll. Still, even of my own followers, 66% were like, you're wrong. Rainbow. Every day I get asked about the rainbow model. Oh, dude, Sebastian, you've been following since July 4th of 1776. Let's go. Everybody knows what that is, right? America. No, I mean, of course, you have to always kind of be on your toes, right, Adam, of what's happening with the market. But I think anybody following a structure of 4-year cycles with block reward halving, those are the people that are not paying attention, unfortunately. So we'll see. Trident Podcast, thank you very much. Has been watching since 2019. Chart fibs on XRP market cap from 2017 top to the 2020 lows. If we hit 4.236, like the Bitcoin market cap, would that mean XRP's price would only top around 950 currently with the current circulating supply? Trident Podcast pays attention to the show. Good job, Trident. I think you have come up with a good number. I think that would be probably about right. I haven't run we ran the numbers here last month. I haven't run it with the current supply, but I think we came out like last month, we came out to like $10.03 or something like that. But knowing that there was going to be an escrow release that, of course, increases circulating supply. So your number, probably right around there. Good job. Thank you very much for your support. Andy Philpott, 10. My man, thank you. Gives 10. So if your name suddenly turned green, you now have access to emojis. And about once a month, we've been doing little members-only live streams. So you have been gifted that by the community. And so if you've gotten gifted that for free, say thank you to the person who did. And I, of course, thank you, Andy. Appreciate it, guys. All you guys do that like every day. Thank you very much. Brandon Hammond says, you had a video a while ago where you said you would get bullish on Bitcoin if it dropped heavily and started bouncing. Still on your radar or not? If it dropped heavily and then started bouncing, I don't really recall that. The only scenario on Bitcoin dropping from here where I'd still be okay with it would just be like the things we have talked about with all of these structures. We come off of the ABC, and for all the new people tuning in who haven't been around since April, we watched an ABC structure come in here. All the current markets in the morning viewers know they got that in their face every single day. I just recently deleted it, right? It was on there for 2.5 months. I recently deleted it maybe 2 weeks ago. So we don't have it, but they've had that every single day here on the channel. The only drop really that I'd kind of view as, this is all right, is really just pulling back to the breakout supports, right? So this is typically what does happen here. Is that we go on and have our final flush. I can grab the other fractal here in a minute too, but typically after the ABCs, this level usually gets tested. The thing is, this was so strong. Usually when these back tests end up happening, it's before we ever even exceed the B wave. This has been the circumstance in both of the previous two ABC corrections for ABC is that for Bitcoin is that we don't actually get above wave B before we come back and back test this region before continuing to march up higher. So this region is still left wide open. It's also what we tested back here, right? It's normal to come back to back test this. Let's grab it. I didn't grab enough of it. So notice before, this is typically right before we go on and have our ending, right? So this is A, B, C. And we usually have kind of a false bottom that happens down here at the lows. And then we have a little bit of like a short squeeze that happens, short squeeze, and then we go on and really hit our lows in here. Notice that when we come back to backtest these, we still haven't exceeded above the height of wave B. So even in here, we're short, right? So when you come back and we test, right? So if we test here, where are you? I didn't delete you, did I? There you are. You know, by the time we come back to backtest that region, we typically haven't exceeded B. We've been so strong here. We just shot all the way back up, and we hit new yearly highs. So, you know, I mean, like I've said for the last month, okay, if we come down and touch here, but I'm not convinced that we have to. If we go below there, I'd actually become concerned. So your question is, if Bitcoin dropped heavily and then started bouncing, that I said I would get bullish. I don't recall saying that. I think the only thing I've said is I'd be okay with here. Not a huge mega fan of us pulling back here. However, we did in both circumstances of ABC corrections that we had in 2020 and in 2022. Here we are in 2023. We tested that area both times. The difference was we got so bullish here, it just didn't seem likely that we'd need to pull back down there. But if we did, it's not out of character to do it. Going anything below that, I don't know about that. You said get bullish if Bitcoin dropped heavily. Not dropped heavily. $1,300, okay. But dropped heavily? No way. I'd be more concerned that Bitcoin's got a long road ahead if we start doing something like that. All right, Bud K, second time now. IOTA USD contracting triangle. I thought I answered you and said yes. It would be the same thing. Let's see, has it held? Yes, it's the same thing. Contracting triangle. Yusuf. Hey, BCB, where do I send merch ideas? Commenting on videos. All comments get approved. This is one of the very few YouTube channels in the whole world that does not have scammers in the comments, because all the comments do get read. I love you guys. I apologize I can't like heart and comment on all of them, but they all get read. And you guys say a lot of kind things. Thank you. And I see people on Twitter, they say BCB never replies. I needed like in order for there to give you guys the long-winded comment replies that you deserve for sure. I have to find a better time management way to do all this, because it's a one-man show for everything. To prep for the live streams, to do the live streams, to make to edit YouTube videos, to make the thumbnails, to make the titles, to upload, to process. All of it. I don't know why to this day it is still a one-man show. I should have a couple of people here working with me, doing the editing and even stuff. That would be nice. It's just there's not enough time in the day. It's a lot. But I try to read everything, and I'm just appreciative of the very kind things you say. But if you do comment and you do say the ideas, it will get read and notes will be taken. And the only reason the likes on the comments don't happen is because it doesn't happen on the same screen. When we go through and like approve everything, it's not there on the screen. I don't know why YouTube doesn't do it that way. It requires this whole moving over to this whole other thing to be able to do it. It should be right there at the approval screen. Hit the heart and comment during approval. That would be nice, YouTube. Hey, BCB, where do I send merch ideas? All right, we got that one. So there you go, Yusuf. Thank you. Mint Man says, I listen to you every morning in my UPS truck. Appreciate you, bro. Have a blessed day. Bro, thank you very much. Fill us in, man. What's going on with UPS, man? How serious is it? Thank you, Mint Man. Cole Metcalf. Can you look at the 2-hour hidden bullish divergence on XRP? Hidden bullish divergence. I hate that term. Give me an obvious bullish divergence, not a hidden bullish divergence. I don't see it. I don't see it. I see stochastic kind of like popping off the lows. We'll see if it gets a little bit. But where's your hidden bullish divergence in the relative strength in here? I don't see it. I just see us continuing with. So not yet. I do hate that though. Hidden bullish divergence. It's like it's the secret. Farzad, Crypto Samurai, thank you very much. No message, first timer. I'm sure you'll get in later. There it is. You said, hey, BCB, I listen to your channel all the time. I'm curious in your thoughts on XTC. I don't follow it too closely. I met the guys when I was at Consensus in 2023. They were all very nice. They, you know what? They came off across actually, very sincere. Like they're actually working on something. But I don't know enough about it to know, like, is there a strong use case or do they have a strong presence in the market for what they're doing? But having met them in person, I got a very good vibe from them. Also, Quincy, I ate lunch with Quincy, hung out with him. He seemed cool. He seems to know his stuff. Trying to think. Like, because I also met other coins and stuff, and I wasn't impressed. There's other stuff I was not impressed with. I was like, yeah, I'm not dancing with this one. That's for sure. And there's some of the names that you guys like too. But I'm not here to FUD anybody. But I don't know enough about XDC to know if they're going to do well. When I check the developer data, right, they just don't have very many developers on it. So I don't know if it's like in a super infancy stage. I also have not checked the inflation rate on XDC. I have not checked the inflation schedule. I have not checked the unlocking schedule for XDC. When do the developers get all of their tokens, all of their coins? I don't know any of those things. So those are things you probably want to look into. My only impression of XTC was just meeting them in person. They all seemed very nice. I didn't get scammy vibes from them. I've got, these are guys really working on something, vibes from them. So that's the only thing. That's the only information I have for it. There's so many coins out there. It's hard for me to realistically know everything about everything. But yeah, I think just knowing it didn't have scammy vibes is good. That's half the battle here, right? And that's Sebastian. I've been following you since July 4th, 1776. America. Grumpy old man, hey, says BCB, if the Dow Jones is doing the same thing as Bitcoin, well, that's not doing the same thing as Bitcoin, but okay, but would it be correct to say it's a false top like Bitcoin? Oh, you meant like in 2021. If it's the case, wouldn't Bitcoin know it's a false top for the Dow Jones and reject the 702 wrong foot? Exactly. That's been my point. All right. His question is, BCB, if the Dow Jones is doing the same thing as Bitcoin did in 2021, if that's the case, wouldn't Bitcoin know that it's a false top for the Dow Jones and reject at the 702 retracement and wrong foot people that were expecting a new all-time high for Bitcoin? Right. So my theory, right, and I won't know until we get back to retracement levels for Bitcoin, should we get back to retracement levels, is that's really as far as it's going. And the thing that I keep pointing to, and this, I think people who truly know what they're doing, right? There's groups of people out there there's only a few people actually out there who do know what they're doing. There's only a couple that actually post real content. Most of it, which is why most people criticize technical analysis as having no value and it doesn't work. And that's because anybody can get a TradingView account. Anybody can start posting it on Twitter who don't know what they're doing, but anybody can have a large following, and you can gain that large following by doing a bunch of stupid stuff. And so they'll say technical analysis doesn't work, and it's because anybody can do it. Anybody who sounds like they know what they're doing can post it on the internet. So they're right to think that it doesn't work because everywhere they look, it's always wrong. But there's a few people who know what they're talking about. There's a few people who've dived in to understand, and why I'm critical of the 4-year block reward having to say, look to the stock market, because I'm not focusing on BS straight up. The people who know what they're doing know something's up here. Something is up here. And why this is happening here, when Bitcoin is here. Because what is happening right here and here, once that range was left, it's very clear, very clear. This was the final phase of Wyckoff. That was the end. That was the sign of strength, escape, right? Whatever this range plays out, however this goes, okay, whatever. This is the escape. The range is done. Whether we backtest it or don't, the range is done. The only reason this should be happening here is if Bitcoin was at its all-time high. Straight up. The people who really know what they're doing know that. They are left puzzled right now. Probably haven't said it publicly. I'm sure they haven't. But there's a huge contradictory to the argument of all-time highs currently. With that happening right now, and Bitcoin still being over 50% below its all-time high. Huge flaws in the argument. And still, even now, it points to retrace. Game over, is my thought. So yes, I think you have a very good point, grumpy old men. And I think the biggest alert happening was what just happened with XRP, and that there's only 2 circumstances in which XRP takes off in the market and completes Wyckoff. We can all say summary judgment, summary judgment, summary judgment. What we all know is the summary judgment was practically timed. And it happened right when it should have, within 6 days of when it should have. And the only reason we should be, and we can look at monthly indicators. We had all the juice pushing up. Let's go back. We'll take that candle out. We were already pushing out, accumulating, pulling out right here in the final phase, getting our way out. We were setting up with strength to explode. We only should be doing that if Bitcoin's going to an all-time high. But we're not. We're doing it prior to that. Why? That's a question that's got to be answered. And I think what it still points at is the theory that I've had is that the rampage happens into the retracement and Bitcoin doesn't have enough juice to get all the way out. Careful. I hope there are people paying attention who, like, I know that most people don't. Like, most people don't dive into it as deep as me. That is so significant. It is so significant that this is happening here while Bitcoin is here. And the people who do really know what they're doing in this market know that was so significant. You know it, man. It was a, oh, crap moment. All the 4-year block reward hoppers, they have no idea what's going on. The people who do know. All right. Ripped Eye. BCB. How is a 4-hour chart on Bitcoin looking compared to the... I don't know. 4-hour chart. There you go. There you go. 4-hour. 2-hour. Well, as we can see on the 4-hour time frame for the last month, we've been stuck. And as we can see for the 2-hour time frame, we've been stuck. You're at range boundaries. We keep going to the top of the range boundary, and then we keep going to the bottom of the range boundary. Right? Is someone going to come in and break it? Right? Or someone going to come in and break it? Otherwise, no difference between the two when you're in a straight up sideways range. Sheldon Albertson says, we're still here. Can I get a heck yeah, brother? Hey, my daughter's listening, man. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Eden Sedek says, keep up doing great work, BC backer. High fives. Thank you very much. Pat gifts 5. Thank you, Pat. Chris Young, just wanted to say thank you for all you do. I've been a follower since 2020, and you've always killed it, my dude. Oh, and today is the day. LFG. Happy Friday, everybody. What does this make? Let's see here. Ever since the course was complete, right? What did I tell? I said, the reason videos have been spotty and we were just doing markets in the morning was because I was recording the course and stuff like that, right? This marks another 5-day week where we got a video out every day. Last week was a video every day, 5 days of the week. And the week prior to that was a video every day except for the holiday, which was 4th of July. So it feels good to be back into the rotation, back into the schedule. You guys are probably getting, I'm going to say too much of me, but it's your choice to tune in or not, right? So, we're getting the live streams every day. We're getting the videos every day. It feels good. I've had that side project working on almost all year. So grateful to have it behind me. And it feels good just to be here every day. So, thanks, Chris. Baby Oscar Hernandez says, hola, BCB and amigos. Baby-sized merch next. Dude, there is a baby merch. It says newest member. I need to check and see if anybody's bought any of them. Sebastian Barrow says, if you want to make a Spanish version, I'm your man. Are you talking about merch? You can't just put ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Right, that's the first thing you ever learn. Baby Oscar Hernandez, member for 2 months. Oh, then he says, ¿Dónde está mi padre Oscar? He's here. He wants blockchain backer sombreros, B. All right, Jim Pierce, when moon. The day you sell, man. When moon. Well, last week was a pretty nice moony moon. Nobody's enjoying being above 77 cents. Nobody likes that. We just got done spending a year and 2 months between 30 and 50. 77. When mood. Mintman says, as right now, it doesn't look good. 97%. Okay, Mintman, this is our UPS guy. As of right now, it doesn't look good. 97% strike approval. Hopefully both sides can come to an agreement. I don't think anyone can handle our volume on their own. Good luck. Yeah, somebody said USPS is ready to say that. Yeah, I'm sure from a marketing standpoint, they say that because it's good for their business. Nobody could expect that they could handle what UPS does, right? UPS does a lot. I think it's 10 million packages a day or something crazy. Millions. And I think USPS does 1.7 million a day or something, 1.5 million a day. I don't. I think from what I heard, like both USPS and FedEx combined cannot take on the volume of if USPS stopped. But I don't know, man. It'd be so damaging to UPS. And so here's the problems too, right? So I don't know anything about it. In the end, it sounds like it's likely going to lead to increased cost for the consumer, right? Whether I don't know if it's for employee benefits or for employee raises or what unions. I don't know what. I have no idea what is going on. I just know there's potentially a strike happening. So we'll see. I don't know enough about it to speak on it. I'll look into it and talk about it next week. And then, Mint Man, you come in here and you say, no, this is what's going on. Okay. John O'Brien, thoughts on Elon's tweet about the XRP case yesterday? You know how I know you're lying? Because every single content creator in the XRP community would have made 35,000 thumbnails about it. All right. Exceed. Hey, BCB, I recently bought HBAR, but I realized to move to the ledger, I have to have a Hashpack third party. Have you? Thanks. You're the best. I bought some merch. Dude, thanks, man. Yeah, you can't put it on your Nano Ledger. It's up to you on how you want to store it, but it will not. Ledger's devices don't support it yet. Oh, look at Cash Me Outside. Did you know that the #1 way to support blockchain backer is hitting the like button? Smash that like. That's all it takes, guys. You don't have to do anything else. Alex Yeet says BCB 22,000 workers, yellow freight. It's about to walk out because the company haven't paid the worker benefits from those 2 months, bro. Huh. Jebsy says it used to cost me $15 to ship an 18 by 24 screen print in a tube with a triangle box to my collectors. Now it's $30. Who in the world will pay $30 shipping for a $30 print? It's gotten bad. Wow, that's wild. RuPaul's Wig says, is it suspicious that if Bitcoin and ETH go to their 4.236 extensions, they gain the same percentage? I'm confused. Am I measuring correctly? I don't know about them going to their 4.236 extensions from where they're at right now. The concern with Bitcoin is just a retrace, not about it going to another 4.236 extension. But either way, just because you go to the same extensions, the percentages are vastly different. Ethereum ran over 6,000% in 2021, whereas Bitcoin went about 2,000%. Right? Blockchain Lurker says, long-time chatter, first-time lurker, came out of the shadows to show the BCB crew some love. Oh, yeah. Hit the like. Blockchain Lurker. Wait, weren't you just Oscar Hernandez a minute ago? Oh, long-time chatter, first-time lurker. I get it. Boom, right over my head. Okay, look, we got a little bit of green starting to show up over here in Bitcoin as it's just trying, right? Maybe this is what he's talking about in the 2 hours, which this isn't a hidden divergence, right? This is, right? It's not hidden. All right, maybe we can get some love today over there in Bitcoin. Just get something. Again, so as we start kind of getting near the end of wrapping this thing up, looks like NASDAQ slight red at 9 points. But we still have all day long for things to do something. You still have the S&P in the green. You still have the Dow Jones in the green. Again, today, as we watch the stock market throughout the day, as we get near the end of the week, which is in 5 hours and 17 minutes from right now, looking to see if we can get the stock market to just close in the green in general. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. It'd be nice to get at least like a 0.5% or something. But any type of red, even if we're down, if we're down 30 points in the Dow, if we're down 40 points, or if we're down 10 points in the NASDAQ, if we're down 10 points in the S&P, And all of these opened today and started today at their 786 retracements, both for the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P. We want to see green closures today in the stock market to have these weekly candles cross all fib levels. So as we near the end of the day, hopefully that's what we do get. We saw something over here in CBC talking about how a lot of options expirations are taking place today to the tune of like 2.3 trillion. So keep an eye on that and which way things swing as these option closures happen. And hopefully we could see XRP turn this puppy around. There we are. As we head into the weekend. So I think the first optimistic sign, of course, stock market. Second, Bitcoin. Then green light for XRP. And I know it's the hardest thing for XRP holders to accept is how reliant it is on Bitcoin and the whole cryptocurrency market. It is much more fun to think, like all the questions that I've been getting for the last week, do you think XRP is going to be used in Fed now? No. It's much more fun to fall into that conspiracy mindset and click on that stuff. The reality is, if you focus on the true data, it just moves with the market. So that's what we're going to be paying attention to here. May not be the spiciest take, but it's the realistic one. So keep an eye on the stock market for the rest of today, and then we'll hopefully transpire that into the weekend. As for right now, we're just in a ranging context. The big thing to watch throughout the weekend when it comes to XRP is the third range boundary of the 702 and the 786 Fibonacci retracement level. While we did pause at 702, that break is going to be there at about 86 cents. We clear 86 cents, you bet you're behind. I'll be back here on YouTube over the weekend, and we'll have a good time watching that happen. Until then, as we sit in the middle of the range, this is considered the dumb money zone. This is a zone where people who understand, who are like active in trading and not going on gut feelings, are not participating in the middle of here. This is where they just sit back and watch. Either they've already taken a trade to the upside, or they're waiting to insert a buy trade on the bottom side of the range. In the middle, it's just a dumb money zone. So if we get back to the top of the range, that's where they'll try to sell it again. They'll try to fight it off again there at the retracement levels. If we get an opportunity to clear through it, not only does it become a breakout, it becomes a short squeeze, it becomes all that good stuff getting through there, and that would be pretty exciting. So that will be the moment where I'll get excited again, getting back to the very peak of that and getting to 86. Until then, just sitting back waiting. But all right, guys. Happy Friday. I think that's it, man. I think we've done it. Are you ready for the weekend? Let's go. All right, so that's it. I'm wrapping it up, man. I'm going to enjoy my weekend, guys. It's been a long week, long waiting week of ranging. Fingers crossed something happens throughout the weekend. Pay attention to the stock market. Look for those green closes. We get those green closes. Holy guacamole. Could you believe it? Weekly closes above every retrace level on every index. That's what we want to see. Otherwise, guys, I'm wrapping this thing up. If you're looking for something to do throughout the weekend, of course, you could check out my website for more content from me. Over 40 videos, over 11 hours of content. bcbacker.com. Deep diving into the crypto market. You know it. Elliott waves, previous bull runs, lessons learned, research, all the things that I've learned being here in the crypto market for over 6 years. Right here on my website. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream. Please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. So you can start reading this thing. John O'Brien, I'm not lying. Elon tweeted podcast mentioning XRP. Okay, I'll check it out. Oscar says, well done steak weekend. No, there's no well done steaks around here. I got to guys. All right. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Gator getting it in at the very last second. Buy the course, bcbacker.com. Have a good one.